Okay, I'm not going to let this rain discourage me. I'm getting really excited about Sunday and worshiping together. Even though that's going to be different, it's going to look a little different, and I'm not quite sure what to expect or who to expect. But I just want you to know that I am ready and looking forward to whoever comes. And I waited until the rain to start talking and making my video. So, well, I wanted to show you some of what I'm getting ready, especially for families with kids, because we will be worshiping all together. Let me tell you this. I'm thrilled that we're going to get to all worship together and that we're going to have kids present, because I don't think that we can have worship completely as a family of faith without having our kids being present. So this is a great chance to do that over the next few weeks, whatever our new normal develops into being. So let's go inside and I'll show you some of what I've got ready. The church building is familiar. You've been here however long you've been here, but you will see some signs that are going to be a little bit different that will guide you to the proper traffic flow while we are trying to keep a social distance that keeps everyone safe. There will also be some marked out lines on the floor that just gives a visual to help you keep that social distance appropriately. I have some wonderful things that I'm really excited about that I've been preparing for all of you guys with kids. So let me show you what I have over this way. So our welcome desk should be fairly familiar to you. However, there's not going to be check-in like there used to be because we will be worshiping all together, but I have created some bins with some items, kind of like a worship library, so you can check them out, borrow the things that are in the green bins for your child during worship, and then put them back in the red bins, and after worship I will make sure that they are cleaned so that children after you can enjoy those activities too. They're just some little They're just a few fun little things that kids can do with their hands that are fairly quiet, and a lot of times when you are using your hands, you're able to listen and hear things more than if you're just having to sit still. So if you borrow out of the green bins though, I do ask that you bring those things back and put them in the red bin for me to clean, and let us use those over and over. There will be a worship bag that each kid will get, and that is something that you get to take home with you, so you don't have to give it back. But that will be over here in a blue bin, and you'll just get one of these per child, and there's lots of goodies in here, so I'll show those to you while we go into the sanctuary. As you come into worship, you'll see some markings on the floor. You'll see some markings on the backs of the pews. Those are all just to help with social distancing. And if you did not watch the video with Pastor Chris and Bobby yet, you need to do that. It's very funny, and there's a lot of truth in it because we are creatures of habit. So I invite you to do that, and also just wanted to let you know, wherever you end up sitting, in whichever service you are in, do stay together as a family. You may take a quick restroom break before service begins. That way everybody can make it all the way through, hopefully. Let's take just a few minutes to think through the service with families and children and all of the people that are around us in mind. I just can't say enough that I'm really excited to have kids present in worship, and I want to say it too many times so that you know that everyone is welcome, and the fidgets and the wiggles that happen are part of it. So you will get the worship bag with all the different activities in it. If I know kids at all, they're going to want to get in the pew, tear it all out, get through it, and they'll be done before even the service begins. So don't do that. Instead, let children be a part of worship. Let them enjoy the music. Make sure that they're able to see the words and hear what is being said. You might even point out who is doing what. One way to help kids understand worship as not something to just sit through is to think of it as if it were a game, like a sporting game, a game of soccer or something like that. There are different people calling different plays. So when Mr. Taylor gets up to sing a hymn, or when Jonathan stands up and plays a song during his worship time, they are calling a play, and that is celebration and worship through music. Which brings up another good point. We are going to be wearing masks, so that'll be a little bit different. And also, because singing is about the worst thing that you can do, spreading the aerosols that could potentially carry COVID virus, then we will not do congregational singing right now, which is going to be really hard. It's reflexive. It's almost like blinking or breathing, that when you hear music that you start to sing that, especially familiar worship music. So talk with your kids about that before you come, so that they can think through ways that they can participate in that music, and you can as well. And nobody is gonna worry about you bebopping or finding other ways to enjoy the music during worship. Speaking of masks, like I just made this one as a custom mask for myself, and when I did that, I made a couple of others. There's this tiny little baby one, okay? And then there's this really cute middle one that's like unicorns and rainbows. I will be making extras for kids, so if you would like one for your child, and I have enough available, then I invite you to have that and use that. Youth and adults will be wearing masks. Kids will not be required, which will be one of the reasons why we definitely want them to stay with you. So once we've gotten through the singing and some of the liturgy, the prayers, and our kids' moment, the kids' moment will be kind of your cue that's a time where for kids to jump into what is in their worship bag. Whether your child is a reader or not, there's definitely things that will be of interest to them in there. Will help them participate in worship. There's a little bit of a snack in there. If you need a special snack, let me know. I can make sure that we have that as well. There will be a bulletin that I've created that has some activities in it. My favorite part is the little avatars or emojis that we have for worship leaders that your children might see. Several activities that are spelled out in the worship bulletin for them to do. And then in the end, there's some activities and verses that you can look up as a family from home together. And the other thing that I have created, if it's needed, is a playlist of videos on our YouTube channel. So the kids' moment for this week will be the first video that would pop up on that playlist. There's also some of the favorite worship music that we usually did in kids' worship together with motions. There's some of our more recent kids' moments or videos that we've made for children. And there's even going to be some of our favorite worship music that you might hear Jonathan or Taylor leading during the service on Sunday. This week there happens to be a storytelling of a book about hope, since that is one of the themes of this week. So that resource is available, whether you come to in-person worship or you worship from home, and even throughout the week, it gives you those things to go back to and look at. So if you're at in-person worship and it is just a tricky day with your kids, let them look at those things. I've got a few extra earbuds. They can tune into things that are connected to the message, but I encourage you to not underestimate your kids. I think you'll be surprised at just how much they will gain, and they'll get to see what it's like for their grown-ups to worship, which is an amazing thing for any kid to get to see. I hope this is helpful. I really can't wait to see who I get to see in person this Sunday, but even if it's not this Sunday, if you or your family are going to continue to worship online for a while, that's wonderful. That's why we're continuing to provide that. I look forward to being with you in whatever way you're able to worship with us as we develop that holy habit together. I'll see you soon. Bye.